Hey everybody, it is 10:30 or so. If you have any reports to pass along, I'd really like to hear it because this is a tricky one. Right now we have folks who have seen anything. There are areas that have told me they've had an inch of snow already, like Pilot Mountain, like Stokes County as well. There are also places that have had no snow at all, only rain. Other areas haven't even had rain yet. And there are a lot of folks in between where there's a lot of flakes coming down, but it hasn't really stuck that much. A couple things to keep in mind. Right now, it is 10:30. This storm not really exiting our area until about 3 to 4 in the morning. So we have a ways to go. I am guilty of doing this as well. When it's not going incredibly according to plan, I panic and I freak out. And if you like snow, you might be the same way. For me, I'm worried about the forecast usually. But this time around, it is a tricky one that's a little bit trickier than usual. And we mentioned the scattered nature of this, how there are little heavier bands and lesser bands. And that's kind of, I think, what we're seeing is, someone just told me they have no flakes in High Point, but just up the road in Colfax, they have a coating to half an inch on the ground. So it really does depend where you are so far. And we're going to continue to watch this. I am looking at your comments. I see Vakina in Northeast Greensboro, not sticking yet, but it is snowing. We also have some snow in the grass in Kernersville for Robert Hammond. Pilot Mountain has about 1.5 inches. That's really been one of the busiest areas so far for today. And some other places, it definitely just depends on where you are. Let's do a little video and show you what the radar is showing and our live pictures as well. Let me pop my graphics up here. We do have this winter weather advisory for most everybody. That continues until the early morning hours. Live look over Greensboro where the snow has been coming down a little bit. Temperature 33 degrees. The airport is reporting some snow. We've cooled a lot. Remember, we were in the mid-40s a couple of hours ago. Now we're all down close to freezing. Still showing rain in Siler City, Asheboro, places like that, reporting snow in Winston-Salem. Burlington as well. So it's still that pesky change over time. And what I like to do when I'm tracking snow is actually use our visibility. What that's telling me is how much is the snow really coating the sky. So heavier snow, you're going to have lower visibility. It's like fog. So in this case, it does appear that Greensboro and Winston-Salem at the moment are getting pretty decent snow. In fact, I just got this photo from a friend. He's driving around in Greensboro right now. Looks like a pretty good snow band, and it comes and goes. It's not constant. That's not really the way it is. It's going to be almost like, intensity coming and then going. Wake Forest, you can see this in Winston-Salem. It seems that Winston-Salem has done pretty well so far tonight, getting at least a coating of snow in most areas and even up to 1/2 inch in some other spots. Keep in mind, we have until 4 or 5 in the morning for a lot of areas, so we have time. This is Wake Forest campus. They are showing a coating of snow right now. The radar has not been super helpful tonight. There's been a lot of gaps that are showing nothing, but it's actually been coming down. So what I think is happening is we're having a lot of shallow precipitation. When I say that, if the precipitation, either snow or rain, if it's happening very close to the ground in the lowest couple of thousand feet of the atmosphere, the radar beam over our heads trying to find the precipitation, it's a couple thousand feet in the air as well. So if it's precipitating down here, but not where the radar beam is, it's not going to fill it in. So it's really not been a very good tool for tracking this so far tonight. Let me show you why I think this storm isn't over. Although if I'm being honest, I think most of us are going to end up on the low side of our forecast totals. Remember, we are forecasting 1 to 2 inches for the area. I think for most of us, it'll probably end up being a dusting to 1 inch. That's the way it's looking like right now. I hope it still pans out, but it's looking like on the lower side of totals at this time. Here's the low pressure area. And I know this doesn't look like much to you, but if you're any sort of weather person, we're seeing a spin in the atmosphere. This little area is spinning and it's moving our way. We call that an upper level low pressure area, and it's pretty strong. It even produced some unexpected snowfall tonight in Alabama and also in Georgia. They weren't expecting that. That was a surprise. And a lot of times this can add a little bit of extra oomph and a little extra energy to the system. And so the reason I say this isn't over yet is once that pivots overhead, it can generate a little extra lift, a little extra energy, and a little extra intensity. I expect that to happen between now and 4 in the morning. So really between midnight and 4, we might be able to generate a little bit more precipitation than we've been able to do so far, and that would help out our snow total problems at the moment. Right now, we are seeing on radar that there are a couple things happening. Number one, you have the snowfall over us. You can see it scattered back over Tennessee and Georgia. You also notice the incredible blizzard that's starting to develop from the Delmarva Peninsula, DC, New Jersey, up to Long Island, New York. Even snow really developing and kicking into gear in northeast North Carolina. That's going to be the blizzard that they see up the coast. Here locally, we're still watching for snowfall over the next couple of hours. What should I show you? Let me look at your futurecast. So our model continues to show spotty snowfall. Not everybody, but here and there, spotty snowfall will continue. So this is the next hour. Here we go through 1 in the morning. See how we're not done anytime soon. There's still plenty of time. If you haven't gotten a coating or a half an inch yet, there's still plenty of time to do that. This is 2 and 3 in the morning. This is 4 a.m. on our model, and there's 5 and 6 o'clock. Once we get to 5 and 6, it's over. So if you don't have anything by then, it's totally done and a bust for sure. But until then, there's still plenty of chances to get some snow, and especially as the temperature continues to cool. Remember, we were in the 40s, so the initial bursts weren't really counting for anything. As we continue to go down and down in temperature, it'll be easier for that snowfall to stick, and roads will start to get slippery as well and even icy when we get down into the 20s by the morning. Morning temperatures will be in the mid-20s as we're looking at Futurecast. And then throughout the day, the sunshine will come out. So if you have those slick spots, you have those slippery roads, they should improve. Especially the main roads should be in very good shape by the middle of the day. The side streets could be in trouble. I've heard side streets are pretty bad in Stokes County right now and Surrey County too. Areas that have gotten good snowfall already, they already have tough roads. But most areas still don't have bad roads at the moment. I did see some roads like Renolda and Winston-Salem. The snow was starting to stick on them, but the main roads are still in pretty good shape. Anything that has salt on it will be fine at the moment. Bottom line, chance of snow does continue between midnight, 2 and 4 in the morning. After that, what you see is what you get. I do think we're going to be probably on the low end of these totals, but this is our forecast. We really didn't change it much the last couple of days, expecting 1 to 2 inches. I'd be surprised if many of us end up with 2 inches of snow at this point, but you could still end up with 1, so we'll see where we end up. I'm not going to write the obituary on this storm just yet. Bottom line, be careful out there if you're out and about this overnight period or into tomorrow morning. Use your judgment, be smart about it. There could be some slick roads, but overall, there is snow across the area. I'd love to see what you're seeing in your communities. If you can comment and let me know what you're seeing and where your location is, I'm going to go through and read those now. Thanks for letting me blab on for a little bit, but I wanted to get that forecast update out there to you so that information was out there. I will leave, what should I leave up while I'm looking at your comments? I'll leave up the radar here for a second, and then I'm going to scroll through all these comments and see what you're having in your areas. I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. I know that's not fair, but that's what I'm going to do. Delphi has snow in Mayadan. Lenore, no, you're stuck, I think. You're probably not going to get anything in Lenore. Brown Summit has sticking snowfall. This is near 150 and Friendship Church Road right there. That's a good area. Reedsville has snow on the grass in Alamance. Melody, yes, this is our 3rd weekend with snow. We had one before that 2 weekends prior, so it's our 5th day of the month with snow. Yadkin County looks to be getting skunked as well, James. That's true. Not much over there. The western counties have had very little moisture to work with. Timothy Glidden is in Lexington. He says the snow is starting to stick. Jonathan Hanachek, what is he saying? The ground temperature is 34 degrees at UNCG. That's not that warm. That's plenty cold enough for snow to start to stick. Louise has good snow in Summerfield. I'm just looking at our camera out the weather garden. It's snowing really good here in Greensboro as well. Advance, Beth has no snow in Advance yet. Don't count your chickens yet. I know you're happy, but it's not over at the moment. We'll see. Other questions. Nick has snow in Oak Ridge. So this is really interesting. So Paul and I believe you, Paul is telling me no snow in Winston-Salem. But I have visual proof that it's not the same everywhere. So this is Wake Forest near Winston. They have a coating of snow, but near Jonestown Road, nothing. So this is very frustrating where you have one part of town that's totally different than the other part of town. Same idea for Southeast Greensboro, where Victoria says it's just rained so far. Very hard to figure out, I'm sorry to say. Jennifer has a dusting in Gibsonville. Archdale has a decent snowfall at the moment. Other questions. So this is weird too. Peggy has no snow in Walnut Cove. Bizarre. Nothing in McLeansville, but Gibsonville has a dusting. Try and figure that out. Eden has covered roads. This is just wild. So town next to town, nothing, something. Everyone is really, just conflicting each other. But I believe everybody. It's just what we said about localized nature. It really is a localized nature to this situation tonight. It's kind of unbelievable. Leave it on the Greensboro camera. Summerfield has close to half an inch, Teresa says. Bethany Community in Rockingham County has about a half an inch as well. Carr is covered in Reedsville. Snow Camp just started to see snow. Stokesdale has snow. Mebane has snow sticking to the grass, but not on the roads. Burlington has snow as well. Cache, the Weather Channel names their winter storms, but no one else really goes by that. Other questions? A joke about Oak Ridge having 10 inches. I don't think so. Wentworth has some heavy snow. So honestly, we're going to have to just see where this plays out because we have a little bit of everything across all of the area. And that's just going to be the way that it continues to be for the next 4 to 6 hours. So try and figure it out, everybody. This is a tricky one for sure. There's your local radar at the moment. I'll zoom out again so you can kind of see the different players. This area is never going to affect us. Ours is still pivoting through. We have another band back in Tennessee. That's where the upper low is. So we could still spin up some action through 4 and 5 a.m. I don't know what else to show at this point. Do want to talk about wind gusts. There will be some winds as an issue heading into tomorrow. Notice our winds are still pretty gusty. I know it's not plotting for some reason, but we could see some winds gusting up around 25 to 30 miles per hour throughout the day. So that's going to be something that we keep an eye on for your Saturday. It's probably going to be a pretty windy day of weather, all right? Windy day of weather on the way tomorrow, and cold. It's just going to be cold all day with temperatures in the 20s to barely touching 30 for the afternoon. So whatever sticks is going to have trouble melting too much for our area. Lindsay wants to know about thunder snow. It's not looking good at this time. At this point, I wouldn't count on very much of any thunder snow in our area. Clemens, Matthew, I don't know, buddy. You know what? We have neighborhoods next to neighborhoods. Some have something, some have nothing. So I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Jamestown has snow, grass dusting in Reedsville for Justin. Burlington starting to get stuff. So, let's not count our chickens yet. We have a couple more hours. We'll see what happens. Hopefully your kids have something to play with in the morning. If not, you can throw some tomatoes at me or something. We did pretty well with all of our forecasts so far. If we're off the mark on this one, those are the breaks sometimes. Said 1 to 2 inches. Hopefully we get it. There's still time. See everybody, thanks for being a part of this and letting me know what you're seeing really is helpful as we're telling the weather story. Tonight, 11 o'clock, we'll have some reports from the roadways. See ya.